What if I told you that you are the reason that snakes get crammed into tubs that you say are too small in rack system? Would you believe me? Would you listen to what I'm trying to tell you? There's a huge conversation going on right now about minimum standards for reptiles. And obviously, that discussion tends to lead towards snakes a little bit more than most because snakes are kept in racks by breeders on a regular basis. Breeders keep snakes in racks because they're trying to fill a room with high quality genetics looking for fancy colors. And I mean, I say it's your fault that they're kept in racks because you will not pay $200 for a normal ball python. You're looking at me, and you're listening to me, and you're thinking that I'm an idiot. And I can understand that. But what you have to remember is that not only is this a hobby, but for the people that you're buying from, this is also a business. Everything costs. I breed. The cost of keeping a large number of animals is astronomical sometimes. I mean, we're not talking about one snake in your living room in a 10-gallon tank. Everybody's breeding for fancy colors. And I mean, if we're searching for an orange dream banana freeway, the fact is that snake is the exact same as this one, just prettier. This is a byproduct. This is a normal ball python with no genes. They get sold cheap. You know, you go to a show and this is a $30 animal. And when they're not sold for $30, they're sold as hatchlings for king snake food, which, wow, that offends people. But king snakes have to eat too, and, well, that's what happens. What I'm trying to get at is we're going to transition to a slightly different topic that maybe nobody's really considered. There's a big difference between a good breeder and a bad breeder. I mean, we can go into a reptile expo and we say, I have $50. I want to buy a ball python. Now, saying 50 because, well, I happen to have a 50 in my pocket. But when you walk into a reptile expo and you've got this pocket full of money, are you looking for the best deal or are you looking for the best breeder? When you go to buy your animal, are you asking how they house them at home? Do you ask if they keep them in racks? I mean, hell, do you ask them if they even breed their own animals? Do you ask if they just wholesale them? Did you ask if they quarantined their animals properly if they did wholesale them? Or did you just see the sticker price and say you had to have it because you could afford it and it's exactly what you wanted? I was at an expo once and someone asked me on Sunday afternoon why I didn't cut the price of my animals in half. And my answer is very simple because Sunday when I'm packing up, I don't care if I bring my animals home. I am not in this for the money first and foremost. I'm in this because I seriously love these animals. I have a few normal ball pythons. I have a few normal corn snakes. I got a few normal boas. The person that asked me why I wasn't cutting my price in half, I've heard over and over again people asking me how he's still in business. And the answer is because he drops his prices. And because when he drops his prices, you spend your money with him. You walked in looking for a deal. You did not vote with your money. Now, if we start voting with our money, we start pushing out bad breeders, bad wholesalers, bad vendors. We start dealing with the reputable people with quality animals that do their best to care for their animals. bad breeders are gone, good breeders will stay. And the problem is that good breeders are more expensive. But if all that was left was good breeders, people that provided quality, the market would change. Prices would go up. But when prices go up, enclosures get better because breeders use racks because they're cheap to build. They're super easy to clean. They're very easy to maintain. They lower the bottom line. They allow a breeder to compete with the guy that's willing to take your money and run, the guy that will not provide you with any support after the sale, the guy whose animals get sick and die a week after you go home. If they're no longer having to compete with that, their bottom line will raise. And when their bottom line raises, people will be more willing to put their animals into large, naturalistic enclosures because they can afford to. It's a fine line. It's a very fragile balance between what is necessary and what is best. And while they're trying to fill a market and please all of you, unfortunately, sometimes that line crosses over to where they're the ones that are getting ostracized. They're the ones that are getting called out publicly because they're also the ones that will answer the questions. And unfortunately, when the bad breeder refuses to respond to any criticism online, the good breeders are the ones left holding the bag. So even though they're the ones that are doing the best that they can, they're also the first ones that you're going to attack. If you are not willing to sacrifice your taste in animals, your living art, your colors, your species, if you are not willing to sacrifice what you are allowed to have at home for the money that you are willing to spend, then you are just as guilty as the person that's selling them cheap. We have the power to change this. We have the power to improve living standards. We have the power to improve animal care. We have the power to vote with our money. And that doesn't just apply to snakes. It doesn't just apply to reptiles. This applies to everything in our lives. And it seems to be something that everybody's forgotten because instead of voting with their money, they'll just complain about it after the sale. We're in a society where the customer is always right. Well, the fact of the matter is, most of the time you're wrong. And a good breeder is going to tell you that. A good breeder is going to correct your care. A good breeder is going to help you through everything that you may be going through. Doesn't matter if it's the day of, the day after, the month after, or 3 years down the road, the good ones are still going to be there to help you. And that's kind of my position on this. And I mean, I know that's not the only focus. I know that, I started this on the subject of tubs and racks, and there is obviously more to the situation, but it's something that we need to start considering. Everyone that has ever spent $1 and then complained about the standards of the animals being kept needs to consider their position. And I mean, that's something I wanted to say. You'd think I would have learned my lesson the first time I did a video that my phone cuts out videotaping at 10 minutes. Really got to put a timer up here. Some of these videos are going to be about my opinions, the things that are on my mind, the events that are going on in the world around us, reptiles. I am itching to get to videos about my snakes, my boas, my pythons, my rat snakes. I want to talk about species morphs, care, husbandry. I want to talk about enclosures. I want to get into the cooler videos that everybody wants to see. But I think I just like to get these thoughts out of my head as they're going. I would love to hear what everybody has to say. Do you hate my ramblings? What would you like to see in videos for people that have seen my collections? Where would you like me to start? What do you want to see videos about? What can I do to further the hobby? I'm going to keep asking that because I really do care. I want to make videos that people want to watch. Other than that, check out Facebook, check out Instagram, comment on the video. One of these days I'll figure out how to put a button somewhere. Ask me about my big snake. Ask me anything you want. I'll do my best to answer it, and give me some feedback, guys. Till next time.